Hey guys, it's me, Miss Jaidynn Dior Fierce, and welcome to another week of my review of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8. Yes, honey, that's right. It is episode 2, and today I have a very special guest, and I'm so excited to welcome the one and only RuPaul. Hey, girl. What's tea? What's tea? Oh, girl, this ain't your show. This is mine. Just kidding, girl. I love you. I'm just a little bit bitter that you didn't give me that crown and $100,000. It all starts out with last week's elimination where Miss Naysha Lopez was sent home and everybody's around the mirror and they're wiping off the lipstick and they're talking about the runway fashions. Layla pointed out Derek Barry having on a bikini, as she called it. It's starting out with a little bit of shade, but I kind of get some of her points when some other girls are kind of plain. Other girls are getting on by and their outfits aren't as elaborate. She feels that she should not have been in the bottom 2. You know, there are some points I agree with. There are some points I disagree with. But hey, it is what it is. The episode goes on and now they are going to the mini challenge. Now, the mini challenge is a dance challenge. Now, there's not a lot of dancers this season per se. I do know Miss Chi Devane, honey, she tears the stage up. But for the most part, Derek Barry, she dances, and I might be missing out on another one or two. But for the most part, it's not a whole bunch of dancers. And to have a dance challenge when you ain't got a lot of girls who can dance, that's challenging in itself. It seems like there's some tension building up. This seems like there's a little bit of shade. People are bringing out their goggles, honey. They're throwing shade this episode, mainly Miss Acid Betty. Well, it's not all necessarily shade per se. It's more of her being a little bit cunty. She's a little bit feisty. That's what we're gonna say. She's a little bit feisty. But it's all right though, honey, because I still live for her. She slays. So she's throwing a little bit of shade, and then they're having this cha-cha dance competition. I crack up at so many of the girls. I really lived. Miss Chi Devane, honey, she gives me a kick and a split. Those nuts was hanging out, girl. I was like, yes, for your nuts hanging out. But you did that death drop and that high kick. Miss Naomi Smalls, she does a death drop. And it literally looked like a death drop, honey. That looked very painful. They probably had to ship her out on an ambulance after trying. See, that's why I don't do stunts, girl. Just about everybody on this dance challenge did a decent job. You know, everybody was being silly, but poor Miss Kim Chi, she's so cute. But it's just like, oh, girl, you ain't got no rhythm, girl. You fierce, but girl, you ain't got no rhythm. Cynthia and Chi Chi wins the mini challenge, so they get to pick their team for this week's Maxi challenge. Girl, I'm getting this hair. Girl, why is this hair all up in my mouth? By the way, y'all, I'm naked. And I ain't got on the nails. I got my titties all hanging out in a row. I'm not doing drag. Ooh, that's horrible. Ow! Ow! Anyways, back to the story. So Chi Devane wins, and so does Miss Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and they get to pick their groups. These girls are on their teams and they're split apart, and already some of the girls are fighting. You got, of course, Acid Betty and Miss Chi Devane going back and forth. I'm like, y'all need to fight already. They need to turn this into an episode of Jerry Springer. Ain't that right, Miss Brute? Or maybe they could just have another challenge of, what was it, season 4? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, season 4 where they had the wrestling match. I think they need to redo that and just have Miss Acid Betty and Miss Chi Devane in the ring because, honey, they ready to box it out. It is what it is. Overall, Dax has been kind of quiet the first 2 episodes, well, there's only been 2. But she's been kind of quiet, kind of faded in the background, and she's somebody who I really want to see, like, just break out of the box. Which I can relate to her because I'm kind of the same way sometimes. So I can kind of understand, like, you know, when you kind of, like, shy or whatever. But yeah, I really want to see, you know, what she can do. Cynthia just pulled a Jaidynn Dior Fierce moment. Ru comes up to the table and is asking Cynthia, what's your team name? And Cynthia's like, See, what had happened was, so all of the girls end up getting their choreography together, and then they go to the main stage where they're rehearsing. You see the teams, they're going back and forth, they're trying to get everything together, and then I felt so bad for Miss Kimchi because they are just going step, touch, step, touch, step, touch. And my poor little sister, honey, my poor little pumpkin, honey, just can't grasp that step, touch, and then she falls. Poor thing, my heart dropped. No, that's so unfortunate. But it was kind of funny though. Is that rude? Is that rude to laugh? It probably is. Let me stop because I've already fallen multiple times in drag and I don't want karma to come around and get me together again. Dax, exclamation point, is another person who seems to be having a little bit of trouble as far as remembering everything, and she's sweating, which, girl, I understand. Now, me, I'm the same way. As I can dance, but I'm kind of a slow learner. It takes me a little bit to get the choreography, but once I have the choreography, I have it. So I'm thinking, I kind of related to Dax, exclamation point, a little bit because I kind of felt like, oh, well, maybe she's having a Jaidynn do a fierce moment, and, you know, she just trying to get it together, and sometimes it just takes a little while to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Not these flyaways. Girl, these flyaways up irking me, honey. After working on the choreography, everybody goes to the workroom and they're starting to get ready for the production / the main stage. And then we all find out that Miss Kimchi is a virgin. I was like, oh, girl, you a virgin? Honey, you ain't got your bussy hole popped open yet? You ain't got that ding-a-ling wit yet? Girl, you ain't got it together? She's so innocent and so cute. I must say, I'm a huge fan of Kimchi. You know, this episode showed a lot, and I feel like I already have a lot in common with Kimchi. She's dealt with the family issues, and she's a virgin. Well, I ain't got the virgin part down. Child, I lost my virginity before I came out the womb, honey. But our personalities is almost kind of similar in some ways, but not always. But I think Kimchi is a beautiful person. I had no idea Kimchi used to be a plus size girl. The girls are getting ready, and Chi Chi DeVayne brings up her upbringing. She brings up that, of course, she was born and raised in the hood, and you know, she was raised around a lot of violence and a lot of things. So I could definitely relate because I went through a lot of the same stuff growing up. And so she talks about that a little bit, which is always interesting to know someone's backstory outside of what they do. Everybody sees drag queens as like just entertainers, but don't realize there's a lot of things that goes on in people's life. And I love getting to know more about them and learning their journey in life. Because who would have known what neighborhood she grew up in? I know she was from the country, and I know she said she eat, you know, rabbits and pigs and blankets and ham and cauliflower and cornbread and green beans and roaches and poodles and ants and birds and turtles and worms and soil. I know she said she ate all that, but I mean, who knows, girl? I didn't know you lived in the hood. We some hood sisters, girl. Ow! I don't know which team is gonna be better. As a matter of fact, I should ask you, which team did you like better? Did you like Cynthia's team better, or did you like Chi Chi's team better? I think they both did good, and they had their standout good girls, and then they also had some girls that didn't have rhythm and couldn't really move or learn any dance steps, unfortunately. A moment that I gagged for is when Miss Cynthia's shoe just went right on off. I was like, dang, girl, yes, ma'am. If you would have hit Ru, you really would have been eliminated. Mama Ru would kick you and your cuckoo right on out the door. Ain't that right, sis? She said yes. Ow! I really like that Kimchi played a character. I know Bob the drag queen said, you know, something about her playing her character, and that's what she did, honey. That was the best advice that she should have given her at that moment. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, you better get it together. If you don't have rhythm, it's okay, honey, because you can still slay the stage. Find your character. And that's exactly what she did. And that's the reason why I'm just like, well, girl, honey, you did that. Because if you take something and make it into something more spectacular. You don't have to know how to dance to be a sickening entertainer. There's a lot of entertainers in the world who aren't dance queens, but they're sickening. Just own it, honey. Take it. And that's what she did. And I feel like she came out just amazing. I think she did a great job. Miss Naomi Smalls was giving me everything I needed. She was giving me body. She was giving me sexy. She was giving me everything I needed to survive. That's what she was giving me. And I lived. I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And also, Miss Cynthia, she was giving me. She was shaking that cuckoo. I said, yeah, she better shake the cuckoo. Chi DeVayne, honey, she was eating it. I'm sorry. When she did the upside down split and was shaking her neck and I was like, girl, you are giving me what I need. This is what I need, and you're giving me what I need. Overall, I think both teams did a pretty decent job. There wasn't one team that was just significantly worse. There wasn't one that was significantly better or significantly worse, in my opinion. You know what? I'm gonna just stop talking. As far as the runway goes, this week, the runways that I was either living or dying for. I loved Robbie Turner's look. I think it was so cute, and I think that it was so put together. I loved it. I loved Kim's gown. I loved the rose petals. I loved it. I said, yes, ma'am, girl, because I will wear that. And I lived for Naomi Smalls. Her look, I loved how she came out and she kind of had it covered up, and then she just breaks out, and then, honey, you see those legs and you see the straps, and I lived. And then I died when Dex exclamation came out. She kind of sent me to the grave with that one. I just didn't like the dress with the extension at the bottom. I wanted to see, the queen of nerds to go far. Like, my drag daughter is very into cosplay and very into that, and I love that, and I just really wish that we could see that on the show. And I don't feel like she even got the chance to even show what she can fully do. One moment that I lived for, and I just got my life, was when Mama Ru, I think she was talking about Kim, and she said something about Sasquatch and Godzilla, or something about talking about her walk. Girl, you better clock. You better do that. You better clock, because girl, that was hilarious. I was rolling and I fell out on my couch, honey, cracking up. That was hilarious. The winner of the Maxi challenge is Miss Chi DeVayne. Congratulations, Miss Chi DeVayne, honey. You went out and you slayed it, and you did that. As Betty, I know you hot, girl. I know you hot. You a broiling hot pot of water. Now give me $100,000 and a free cruise. That's all I care about is a cruise. That's all I want is a cruise. Chi DeVayne wins the Maxi challenge, and she wins a all expense paid trip. I think it was for 3 or 4 days to an out of the country place that's really in the country. Congratulations on your win. There are 2 girls that's in the bottom 2. There's Layla McQueen and Dax exclamation point. Now, this is Layla's second time in the bottom 2. So I know that feeling, honey. When you are in the bottom 2 for the second time, it is the worst feeling ever, because you feel like the spotlight is really on you. Like, people are going to be really focusing on you. Focus on me. Focus. Okay. The lip sync goes on, and I was just like, okay, throughout the whole thing, I was just like, neither one of them just gave me that moment that I live for. And then Mama Ru says, what'd you say, girl? You said, Layla McQueen, Dax exclamation point. I'm sorry, my dears, but you're both going home. Pack your bags. Ain't that what you said, girl? I was gagged. Girl, why would you send both of them home? You didn't even have to shade them like that. But she did, because this season she is not playing. At the end of the episode, she picks up her phone, and then you call somebody. Girl, who is she talking to on the phone? She was talking to me. Spoiler alert. Who do y'all think she's gonna bring back? Do you think it's gonna be Shangela? Is Shangela gonna pop out another box? I need to text my sister. I'll be like, where was you at, girl? Honey, because we ain't got time for you popping out of no more boxes, girl. You done popped out enough. Is she gonna bring back Naysha Lopez? That is all for this week's episode. Make sure you guys tune in next week because once again, I will be posting another video with another special guest. And everybody put your hands together for my special guest for this week, the one and only RuPaul. Well, at least the RuPaul maquette statue image. I still need that $100,000 in a cruise. I post the video every week on here. So make sure you guys subscribe. So that way, as soon as I post a new video, y'all will get it. Y'all will get a notification that Jaidynn Dior Fierce just not posted a new video. So I need to click on it and say hi to Jaidynn Dior Fierce because I love when y'all tune into my channel. See you next week. Bye.